Pero y luego...
Pero yo para caminar tengo que ser
Sí, pues sí. El río, ¿no ves que es un río? Y te llevamos esa calor. Ah, es el Rivers. Vamos a...
Los restaurantes están aquí.
tomarte un café olé.
Restaurants, galleries, and shops. Now over here to my right hand side, we're going to see our artist known as Miss Congeniality. So they actually filmed the swimsuit scene for that movie right there on our very artisan river theater stage. Now right ahead us to my right hand booth location, and then they turned the building into a circus museum of all things. Stayed open until 2001. But in 2013, that's when our Frisco took over. And inside our Western Art Museum, we house things such as Santa Ana Berlin, folks. Berlin, Connecticut. Yeah. Up with these bridges, they are still very unique. There's only 10 of them like this here in our nation. 3 of which reside right here in San Antonio. What makes them so all held together by moat and bridge. It's called a cut bridge. Now right ahead of us to my right hand side, you see that little angular table with those hands? So there's our Father Massonet table. Built back in 1991 by a local artist with the name Rolando Bredeño in order to honor and represent the first Catholic Mass held here on the river back in the 1600s. It sits upon a little island we all like to call Mary's Island. And that's because on that island right there, passing by, I saw a lady in her wedding dress taking photos, so I don't know if they had time or leave. That's because in the 1800s, this part of the river, there's actually the shallowest portion of our river that had the most stable riverbed at the time. So that just means it was the easiest to sell, and his rough riders. In the 1890s, they very frequently used that portion of the river in order to make sure their crossings were stable. Now over here to my left hand, distinct from that movie, no, but it still looks kind of like it. I might have fooled a couple of y'all on the boat, but that building's in New York. Last time I checked this, we put it. Now right up ahead of us, we're gonna see that red brick building, known as the Barrett County Courthouse. It opened its doors back in 18. People look like 8'5", and while we don't go look at it, it is because it is actually 8 drops down, about 15, 20 feet or so. So we will not be going down that drop today. Unfortunately, as fun as that does sound, we are gonna go instead head towards this bridge right above. Together forever, yeah. Now, going back to these flood gates, these flood control systems, back in 1921, we actually did not have a flood control here. And we make way for this system right here. Those individuals did very important historical buildings would still be standing here today. We owe them quite a lot. Economic success that it is known as today. Without Robert, our riverwalk as you know it would not exist. And luckily for us, when he proposed the idea, our city loved it. And they finished it up by 1941 after see that little tree that split up. Known as our Bin Bible tree, dedicated to the second patriot by the Benjamin Bible. Back in 1835 was unfortunately shot and killed by a sniper that sat at the very top of this tree right here. So we're wondering, this is a ball cypress tree. This is roughly about 90 feet tall or so. It is one of the older trees still left there on our river. Now this gate we're going up underneath right now is another fun gate. This one's number 3. The gate is actually above us rather than below us, and it'll drop when we top down. One of the many ways we protect our downtown area from potential floods. Now up ahead of us, to my right hand side, you see that sign that says the S somehow opened its doors as that fully stocked bar. Now I'm not exactly sure how they did it, but my theory is they're getting a little bit more than just a haircut done in there. Maybe a different type of buzz, if y'all know what I mean. Now right over here to my left hand side, I want you to look at the chandeliers in the building to my left. I want you to imagine, back in 1921, when that now back in those days, that building actually used to be known as the EPS building, and it's where you see your electricity, but nowadays it's going to be known as the brewery and culture. Now, right ahead, 1926 is a stylish black and white movie theater, one of the most popular places to see at its time. But eventually, over the years, with the decline of those types of films, they did eventually shut their doors. But luckily, our Aztec theater was safe from demolition, and they were able to reopen it up as a concert venue. And that's what it is still known as to this very day, that concert venue. Now, officially, this bridge right here is going to be named after Robert Hudson, the architect. But most people come to know this little bridge right here as Salina Brandon Theorized that Sophia herself might have been proposed to on that bridge. And while this is Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, she was proposed to everywhere. St. Mary's Institution for Boys. They had opened up with roughly about 100 students back in the day, but eventually over time, as the school grew more prosperous, they actually outgrew that campus right there. They had to do it. And eventually one day, a former student at the school came back to the building. They purchased it and turned to have another one for you. This was going to be of a freestanding wall for further level. To my left. Now this wall right here is actually the Art Deco. Opened its doors back in 1930. Art Deco was actually the first full-service hospital here. And if they were to have built it any taller than it is today, it would have casted a shadow upon it. They legally no longer could, so they had to settle for building it a little wider instead, trying to accommodate for at least a few of the my right-hand side, it is not a casino. It has never even once been a casino. Actually, back in 1927, when they first built this building right here, it was a private club. The German said before, that's the top bracket. But the floors above it, that's actually an apartment complex. Now, if any one of you looked at that apartment and thought, wow, maybe I might want to move in there one day. Well, you might want to get yourselves on the wait list now, because they say that wait list is so long. We got Tex-Mex, Mexican, barbecue, Tex-Mex, Italian, Tex-Mex. We don't in Texas after all, so there's quite a lot of Tex-Mex down here on our river. But if that is not what you're looking for, we do have plenty of other options as well, of course. Now, right up ahead of us, to my right-hand side, back in 1941, when they completed the construction of our Riverwalk, Robert Hudson, the architect, y'all remember him, for people to follow suit. And luckily for us, it definitely worked. of the stand on this closed hatch door beneath me, it was open. So instead, I fell right through it into the San Antonio River. And that is a true story, folks. That is how I fell into the river. Now, right up ahead of us, to my left hand, where is it? Back in 1985, they devised a plan. They picked up the entire Fairmont Hotel up out of the ground. They placed it on 36 dollies, all with roughly about 8 wheels each. And with tow trucks, they slowly rolled the Fairmont to a new location where it still sits at today as an operational and functional hotel. That way the Marriott could build right there where it wanted to, and then Stargazer, she is our newest addition here on our river, put here in 2022, done by a Mexican sculptor by the name of Pedro Reyes. She is called the Stargazer in order to represent all of the indigenous people of the past. They gaze at the same stars that you do today. Now don't get any ideas from the people that were standing on it. If one police actually catch you standing on that river, you can receive a fine because it is illegal to do so. Now, right over here to my right hand side, up on the river, there, we decided we were going to build the tallest tower here in our nation. So at the time we did, sitting at 750 feet tall. When the tower was first built, it was the tallest tower here. But eventually, once the Las Vegas strategy was built, we were knocked down to second place. So that's okay, we're still in second place this very day. And then we are a giant observation before I drop you off up here. Talk about a couple more things as well before I do so, but one of the things I actually want to talk about is the boats we are on right now. We do actually have 5 different boat designs, and they do all have separate meanings. The boat we're on right now is going to be called our Dove boat. The Dove boat is to represent peace. We have a Sentinel boat. Back in 2017 was a new boat to being built. That was the city's 300th year anniversary. So we built the boat design and model after that. And then a sun boat. To represent, we get about 300 days a year on average of pure sunshine here in our San Antonio area. Now our river center has an IMAX movie theater, a Legoland, and a sea life located inside. But my personal favorite is actually this hot tub course up ahead of us called Holy Holy. And then on the second, an area kind of like you would standing on air. So it's just a little side course and all. I think it's pretty fun. Your spouses, your children, all that kind of good stuff. Venmo if y'all don't carry cash with you. But other than that, I do want to thank you all so much for joining. And I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all stay here in San Antonio.